Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Huggy Face Gaming here, and welcome to a Jump Force video. Now, within this video, this isn't a sponsored video by any means. I'm not sponsored by anyone to actually make a video talking about Jump Force, especially since this video is going to be talking about the negatives of Jump Force. So, this is kind of me just going over all the things that I don't like about Jump Force, and obviously, it kind of has to do with story elements as well as gameplay elements that I hope they could fix, because obviously they did a day one patch, but in my opinion that day one patch really didn't do much, and obviously it's been a week since Jump Force came out, so let's see what exactly I have learned within 1 week of playing Jump Force. Now, the very first thing that I do want to talk about is obviously gameplay. The gameplay for me is really crisp and clean, but the one thing, as you guys can notice within this gameplay, is the fact that yes, the computers do tend to block way too much. Now, what does that mean for the overall gameplay experience? Well, it's kind of hard to kind of do combos within this game when, obviously you go for a combo breaker and then obviously they just guard. And once they guard and you try to actually break their guard by either holding the heavy or going for a grab, they tend to jump back and then counterattack. And if they are a higher level than you, chances are you are going to be dealt with so much damage. I remember I was playing against, I believe it was like a level 50 computer, and one of his combos did like 50 to 60% damage. Like, it was insanely crazy how much a counterattack can actually do. So obviously, in my opinion, I wish or I hope that they actually fix this, because the way that this whole block and counterattack mechanic works is really ridiculous, because obviously when you go for a grab, that is insinuating for the computer to jump back and counter. So every time you try to go for a grab, they are going to counter you. When obviously majority of the time they might do it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes when you actually do the heavy, as you saw right there, it actually does lead to their shield breaking, which is another thing I wish they did, because if the shield is broken, the shield should be broken for more time, not shield break right now and then they get their shield when it actually comes back. So in my opinion, that is kind of a ridiculous way of using the block mechanic for the computers. It gets really frustrating because you want to deal as much damage as you can, but obviously you can't deal that much damage because they're blocking, and obviously this is a timed game, so the more they spend blocking and the more time they spend attacking you, the harder it is for you to actually win, because obviously if the time runs out and you have less health than the computer, it's basically stating that you yourself have lost the game. Now, another thing that I kind of find glitchy and kind of broken in terms of Jump Force, as you guys see right here, I am going for a hard mission, and as you can see, the level for these computers is 55. Within this gameplay, I believe I'm around level 26 or 27, I believe. I'm not really sure. It might say at the end when I actually complete the mission and whatnot. But the one thing I do hate is obviously spamming moves. Now, within this gameplay, I am using my created character Goku and Kinshiro. The reason why I use these three characters is mainly because these are my three go-to characters that I really want to level up. Obviously, all the whole roster does level up as you do missions, but they don't level up as much as the people within your party. So these three characters within my party right now are the highest level. So that's why I continue to use these three within the gameplay. But what do I mean by spamming attacks? Well, as you guys saw, this is a level 55 hard mission, and I am extremely under leveled. I believe I'm like 30 levels under. But even though you are under leveled by that much, I'm gonna showcase right here that this game is broken and you can actually beat this with ease, because there is a kind of mechanic that I actually talked about before in this effect. So you guys remember when I said that these characters love to just block and counterattack? Well, there is actually a couple set of moves and specials that you could do in which they try to counteract that, but they can't because you're at a far distance. These being beam attacks. Now, the one I use within this gameplay is going to be the Kamehameha. I don't know if it works for other ones, such as Vegeta's energy blast volley, as well as his actual Gallic gun. I don't know if it works for those as well, but like I'm saying, it is kind of broken how the fact that you can actually just spam Kamehameha and it actually deals a lot of damage. Well, not necessarily that much damage, but it will get the job done. As you see within my gameplay, I do Kamehamehas, and it does chip away from his health because obviously he is level 55 and I am like in the mid 20s. So This is really broken because this basically states that you don't necessarily have to be a pro player or a high level person to actually beat not only these characters but the story. All you could do is deal some damage combos here and there, and once you get far away you could do the Kamehameha. But not only that, but when you also do the Kamehameha, it actually pushes the enemies further away from you, so you are creating more distance by actually doing this move. And if you are far enough away when the other character does his ultimate and you spam the Kamehameha, your Kamehameha or Galagun or whichever beam attack you use is going to counteract that move, because obviously they're further away and they're not going to hit you with their supers. In my opinion, this is a really broken technique. So obviously you could level up a lot by just spamming this move and doing high level missions, which is what I've actually been doing. So obviously, even though I hate that it's broken, I love it because I could get through missions almost with ease. Not necessarily with ease, because as you can see, if they hit you once, you do lose a ton of health, but at the same time, you could just literally spam this attack and actually win matches, which honestly I don't know if they're going to be able to fix. If you guys want a easy way to actually win matches without doing that much effort, highly recommend using the Kamehamehas all the way, because like I'm saying, this is a devastating attack that not only chips away at health, but it's almost guaranteed that you are actually going to win the match and level up. And let me tell you, if you guys actually beat these hard missions and you are a low level character, you will gain a bunch of XP. I believe I completed this one, like I said, level 55 characters. My character went up like 3 or 4 levels with all the XP that I gained from finishing this mission. So you get a bunch of XP if you are really low level. And like I'm saying, it really doesn't require any skill at all you have to do is just get at a far enough distance and just spam Kamehameha or Galagun or whichever beam attack actually works without taking too much damage. Because if you do this technique, chances are you are going to be dishing out a lot of damage. Not only that, but you are also going to be distracting the character. They can't counterattack because you're at a far distance, so you are most likely going to either win by A, them losing too much health, or B, them having lower health and time runs out, so basically means that you win. So those are the main mechanics that I want to talk about in terms of this game being broken. And the final issue I do have, which I know a lot of YouTubers are talking about, is the fact of graphics. Now, within Jump Force, the cutscenes for the story mode are not the best. If you guys actually look up a lot of the story mode graphics or cutscenes, they're not necessarily the best. Like, we have characters just popping in and gliding off screen and so on and so forth. Like I said when I first made my initial video, they put a lot of emphasis on the gameplay and not too much on the story cutscenes, which in my opinion is kind of bad, but at the same time good, because obviously people play for the core mechanic game, not exactly the story. But like I'm saying, when it comes to the story, I'm tired of this whole Umbra Cube taking over villains. Obviously, we've gone that with not only Xenoverse, but as well as fighters, like good guys turned bad because of sorcery and so on and so forth. So I'm kind of tired of that storytelling. It's kind of repetitive in terms of Jump Force. I haven't gone that far in Jump Force because I want to level up my character as much as I can before I actually get into the story. But at the same time, like I stated, you really don't have to be high level to defeat these characters. You could just spam them with far away projectiles, which is, I guess, technically broken. I don't know if they actually thought that this was actually going to happen when they actually implemented moves like the Kamehameha and Galagun. So it's kind of crazy. So obviously the main things I have about the story is not only its contents but the cutscenes. The cutscenes are really bad. I really do hate how the cutscenes look, but that's kind of my opinion. But overall, those are kind of my things about this game that I don't really necessarily like. So obviously it's the core mechanics of the game, which are blocking, counterattack, as well as spamming projectiles to kind of win matches. Those are main gameplay mechanics that I hope they could actually fix, as well as story cutscenes and the whole overall story. But with that being said, that's all I really have for this one. What do you guys think about this game so far? 1 month after launch, like, it's crazy. I believe they actually leaked out the season DLC characters for the game. I saw the list and I don't necessarily know that many of the characters. I believe within that character list, some of them that I remember were Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh!, which I'm super hyped if he actually does come to Jump Force, because I really do like Kaiba. He's like one of the best characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously, if he actually has cards like Yugi, the cards he could use are basically like Battle Ox, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and obviously his ultimate, instead of Yugi having Slifer, Kaiba could have Obelisk, or maybe Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. Like there's a lot you could do with Kaiba. I believe another one was from the Dragon Ball world, which was Majin Buu, which I'm kind of iffy about. I don't know why they're including Majin Buu in there. Other characters from like Bleach and stuff, and One Piece, and All Might, which All Might is a really, really good choice. I really do hope that they put All Might within this game. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the game. Leave your guys' overall thoughts in the description below. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for future content, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.